Okay, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday afternoon drawing group with me, Jason Leeser. And welcome back to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, and collectors are encouraged to join live events, share, participate, inspire, create, and, generally improve their art and tattoos together every day. You might be beaming in from one of the many places that we stream from, such as YouTube or Facebook, um, you know, w- or maybe you're listening to the podcast. Either way, you can always get the latest events and the latest notifications and really help build that community spirit uh, through the official Reinventing the Tattoo community, which can be found on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, or directly at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. Our goal isn't to keep you addicted to technology, but it's just to help you access this inspiration and some of these conversations and some of this knowledge a lot easier. Once again, you're currently watching the Sunday afternoon drawing session with me. On-demand reruns can be found in the library in the community, as well as tons of other tattoo and art related content, right? It's like a black hole of like art and tattoo knowledge. It's amazing. We also do like live art jams, drawing groups, obviously, interviews, panels, webinars. We've got so many shows going on per week, it's hard to keep track of the number. But I know that at one point in time, we were doing like a new show a day, which is pretty crazy. That's a ton of tattoo knowledge coming at you, that can be beamed and streamed straight to your phone. So, there's a ton of stuff you're missing out on if you're not already involved with it. Um, Once again, the more you participate, the more you're going to get out of it. So we always encourage people to go through and contribute, make comments, join in a discussion, join a panel, really become active in it because you're going to get so much more out of it if you do. We do have several weekly events going on, as I had mentioned earlier. We've got the Sunday afternoon drawing groups, obviously, as of right now. By the way, happy 4th of July, everyone. Yeah, way to go.
Happy
Um,
Independence Day.
yeah, yeah, totally missed that, Gabe.
Oh, I just said Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. Yay. Well, American Independence Day. Um,
American Independence Day.
People in different countries may have different Independence Days. Totally cool, but today's American Independence Day, and I'm still here because I don't really have anything else to do. Oh, well.
Yeah, we're
Anyway,
free to
so
work.
we've got today's drawing group. We have tomorrow morning's drawing group at 9 a.m. with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, which is always awesome. And if you guys don't know about the Fireside Tattoo Network, you have to check it out. We have the subscriber exclusive Monday evening drawing group with Guy Aitchison himself, which is for people that decide to go through and pick up the subscription to Reinventing the Tattoo. It's not necessary to join the community, but there is so much incredible content on there. Like I own the first and second editions, which I'm sure people can find pirated versions somewhere on the interweb somewhere. This is completely redesigned. Still has all of the old content, but they have added so much new content to the Reinventing the Tattoo canon that it would take you hours to get through it all. It's absolutely incredible. You have got to check it out if you don't know about it. Plus, it's less than $1 a day. I mean, come on, how can you argue against that? You're literally paying less than $1 a day for knowledge that can seriously take your tattoos to a completely new level. You can't beat it. Thursdays at noon, we also have the Tattoo Collecting Podcast. We've got all kinds of other stuff going on as well. Some real world events coming up October 3rd through 6th. We have the Paradise Tattoo Gathering BYOB event, We'll be doing some live webcast shows. We'll be doing some live seminar streams, some live art collaborations. We're going to be doing all different types of activities. It's BYOB, so bring your own brushes, beer, bud,
Brains.
berries if you're vegan, you know. Bring your own stuff. It's going to be an absolutely awesome time. It's going to be right after a tattoo convention in New York too. So if you're going to be in the area, it's only like a 2-hour, 3-hour drive up to the event space. You know, it's going to be absolutely incredible. Definitely check it out. November 12th through 14th, we have the Brussels Tattoo Convention with Nick Baxter and Ivana and Gabe, who is in the strong group today. Hi, Gabe. All of them will be doing seminars. We'll be live webcasting out some of those seminars for everyone. There's also going to be an art jam, some subscriber exclusive meetups, and a couple of other, you know, just general collaborative, you know, get-togethers. July 8th through 10th, 2022, next year, we have the Rock River Tattoo Art Expo with artists. It's going to be at an amazing venue. We've got international people coming in from all around the world. If you're interested in working at one of the most incredible tattoo conventions ever, Rock River is going to be the one to be at next year, without a doubt. We also have the Rubber City Tattoo Convention coming up with Tony Urbanek, and I believe that's also going to be next year. As well, next year, you may want to mark it on your calendar. We're looking at the 3rd week of October for the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. We're going to be back up and going 100% with all kinds of seminars and webcasts, knowledge. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Highly recommend you take a look
That's
at
the
it.
October 20th to the 23rd.
20th to the 23rd.
It's October
2022.
20th to the 23rd.
Next year. Absolutely. This is not to be confused with the Paradise BYOB, which is coming up this October, which is the 3rd through 6th. Would like to go through and thank our sponsors, Dermalize, also known as DLize Pro.
Which is a Sunday to Wednesday.
Wow, Gabe, the lag on your phone is crazy, man. So back to our sponsors. If you're still using cling wrap, forget it. Try Dermalize. I've used it. I know several other artists that have used it. It's absolutely incredible stuff. It's designed to help your body heal the tattoo naturally. It's incredible. It's microporous, so it still allows it to breathe, but it's going to help your body do what it normally does, but do it faster, right? And it's going to help cut down on any kind of like foreign contamination. It's super low maintenance. Definitely check it out if you've never used it. It will completely and totally change the way that you heal tattoos. Would like to thank Raw Pigments, which you can find at rawpigments.co. To me, and it's, you know, one of the brands that I use regularly, it's like tattoo pigment 2.0, right? It's not going to dry out in your cap. It's completely acrylic free. It's, I believe, 100% organic and vegan friendly, not made from real vegans, but, you know, it's vegan friendly. So if they want to, they can eat it, I guess. Wouldn't recommend it. Probably won't taste very good, but I mean, your options are kind of limited anyway. So inkjet stencils, if you want to take your tattoo stencils to the next level, inkjet stencils is where to do it. You can literally print out a photograph. On top of that, if you're like me and you like to print out a lot of line drawings, you can get so many line drawings out of one bottle of inkjet stencil. It's ridiculous. I mean, absolutely mind-blowing how many tattoos you can do just off of one bottle. And the fact that you have the option to actually print out a photograph now is unbelievable. Definitely highly recommend you take a look and check it out. It's definitely going to take your game to a completely different level. Tattoo Education and GuyHson.com, who has paintings constantly for sale, tattoo machines, prints, all kinds of stuff. It's absolutely awesome, the type of merchandise that you can pick up there. You can also get live webinars and seminars. Um, TattooNow.com, technology for tattooers. If you're looking to really take a look at some of these other webinars that are out there, things like how to tattoo like Bob Tyrell, right? Yeah, everyone's got their own black and gray way that they do things. But if you want to tattoo like Bob Tyrell, if you really want to be on that kind of a level and know the little tricks that he uses to get his tattoos to look the way that he does, he has an 11-hour seminar, 11 hours, where he walks you through step by step everything that he's doing. So if you want a tattoo on that kind of a level, that's where to go to pick up that seminar so that you can find out how to do it. You've got other seminars like BJ Betts has a 3-hour lettering seminar. You really want to master lettering and you want to learn from a master who does lettering, pick it up. It's great. It's absolutely unbelievable. It changed my lettering game overnight. Highly recommend you take a look at it. All of those are available at Tattoo Now, technology for tattooers. Also like to thank some of our other affiliates like the Fireside Tattoo Network. I mentioned them earlier. If you don't know about the Fireside Tattoo Network, you need to look it up. Take a look at their YouTube channel. Take a look at their podcasts. It's absolutely incredible. There is an unbelievable wealth of knowledge that's just sitting there for free that you can watch. Interviews with some of the leading people in tattooing that you can go to YouTube and watch right now. It's absolutely unbelievable. Highly recommend you take a look at that. The Apprenticeship Diaries. If you are an apprentice, if you are looking to become an apprentice, if you are trying to get your foot in the door into the tattoo industry and you want to do it the right way, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries. That's what it's geared towards. It's geared towards teaching you about experiences, what to look for in a good apprenticeship, what should you be learning. It's absolutely incredible, the information that you can go through and learn through other people's experiences and then learn how things should be. Would also like to thank eco-friendly tattoo supplies, because who doesn't want to save the environment, right? Everyone loves the environment. It's where we live. We need to protect it. We need to save it. Eco-friendly tattoo supplies is where it's at. Yeah, so that pretty much
Awesome.
does it for the intro.
Jason, that was great. Can you hear me now at the right time?
I can.
That was awesome. I love it when stuff like that happens because it's always freaky. Last thing, did you let everybody know about reinventing247.com?
Reinventing 20. I did not.
Awesome.
So we've got a pretty new feature in the community. It's called Reinventing the Tattoo 24/7. It's available under.
But yeah, reinventing247.com is
Is that
the way to
the
get
direct
there.
link?
It's the direct link. Boom. Can't get any easier than that. Reinventing247.com.
Yo, it is absolutely awesome. It's basically a place where you can go, you can collaborate. It's live, it's on demand. You can get so much out of it. It's absolutely amazing.
So for
I
instance,
actually
right
just
now
pulled it up.
Okay, cool.
And there are people on there going back and forth about inkjet stencils and how to go through those seminars. You can sign up for the sample packs if you want to try out Cheyenne cartridges. If you wanted to take a look and maybe get some samples of inkjet stencils, send them your image. They'll print one out for you and mail it to you so that you can try it out. Like it's absolutely awesome. I believe you actually even get some raw pigments. I believe we're still sending out
some Cheyenne
samples.
cartridges.
Yep. Mention
the goodie
Cheyennes.
But yeah, and then like the other channel. So at any given time on reinventing247.com, there'll be 4 things playing, including one that's in Spanish. And yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so definitely take a look at that. Cool. So we got We got Ricardo in with us today. How's it going? We got Eddie in. Hey, Eddie. Pleasure to meet you.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Ricardo?
How's it going, Eddie?
Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Not too bad.
Kicking off
What
the
you
4th
working
of
on?
July the right way, in my opinion, with some
Right.
art and some fun stuff. Prepping for
Is this your first time beaming in, or?
Me? Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been trying to get on. I'm on the West Coast, so it's always a little confusing to line up my times with you guys. But so I was stoked that this notification came up and I was actually available to join.
Ah, awesome. So you got the push notification from the app?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, awesome.
That's sweet. Where at on the West Coast are you?
I'm in Bend, Oregon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Oakland, California, but I moved up here to tattoo about 1.5 years ago.
That's awesome.
Bend is
How long have you
gorgeous.
been tattooing?
About 1.5 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
What's your
a
work?
newbie.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the fucking best job in the world.
Yeah.
I'm just working on my designs coming up for the week. I've just been on vacation actually, on the East Coast for the last 2 weeks, so I have to like get back in the right headspace. Always feels weird to take a long break from tattooing. So yeah, that's why it's good to be drawing with all you guys.
Radical.
Yeah, I can honestly say I can't remember the last time that I actually took a break from doing something not tattoo related. I tried to, and it didn't really work.
Yeah.
Like I tried to be like, oh, I'm gonna go on vacation and just relax the whole time. And what did I end up doing? I ended up finding every tattoo studio in and around Rome, and went there and started like looking and checking it out,
Oh, that's
talking to
fucking
different
awesome.
artists. You know,
Yeah, no,
but I
this
was
was
like,
not
no.
that fun of a fun of a vacation. I was just visiting my family since I haven't been able to travel for the last basically 2 years because of all this shit. But so I was kind of like miserable the whole time because I was not tattooing.
Well, that's no
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I know. I was just like, fuck, this is way too long of a trip to be away. But I got this really awesome chick to guest spot in my spot while I was gone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was exciting because I'm trying to like get her to end up working at our shop. So I was just like, try it out. Take my space while I'm gone.
Yeah, just give it a feel. Just see if it works for you. See if you
Try it
like
on
the
for size.
atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it's working.
Yeah, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricardo was actually talking to me. He's like, dude, why don't you come out and hang out and visit and do some painting? You know, maybe take a look at my studio. And I'm like, dude, I know where you're going with this, man. I know what you're trying to do. I know where you're going with it. I knew where you were going with it.
Hey, man, you can't blame
And I
me for
actually
trying.
I did actually sit down and think about it. I'm like, well, I could move out to Illinois.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Yeah, I went to school in Chicago. That's funny.
Okay.
But I didn't like Illinois. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't blame you. Illinois in the wintertime is like a frozen tundra. You know what I mean? It's pretty terrible in the wintertime. It's
You
not
ever
too
been
bad
to
right
Connecticut
now,
or Massachusetts in the wintertime?
Me?
No, Ricardo.
I have.
I haven't.
If he thinks that's bad, he's never been in the Northeast during the winter.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level of
That's true.
what is going on outside.
Yeah,
Actually,
but of course,
lightning
anybody that's
and
from
snow.
Canada is like, oh yeah, fucking, you don't even have another half of it.
Right.
I lived in New York City for a while. You know what I mean? That was like 2 years of that.
That's like 10 to 15 degrees warmer though, just because of the cities. Like everyone, because of the 8 fucking million people there.
Yeah, all that body heat.
I want to get down. Have you guys been seeing not Yomako's new? I mean, obviously Yomako's got a new private studio, but Zippa and Darwin Enriquez have that new spot right there in Manhattan.
Oh, didn't even hear about that.
I think it's called Ink Nation Studio. I mean, those two are killer tattoos. Very digital, very computer oriented too. They're coming out, I believe, to the Tattoo Art Expo next July. I'm hoping that we'll get more and more of the computery 3D shit going on. But their tattoos, they're in the studio at all is it's excellent. It's right there in the heart of Manhattan. Might be in it's probably like Times Square area there. It's they got the pictures of the nice studio, but then they've been showing off a couple pictures of the roof and the rooftop thing they got going on there. It seems pretty awesome for New York, and it's crazy New York. I'm in the middle of the woods for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just came from New York City. Actually came in yesterday. So Bend, I don't know if any of you guys have been over here in Oregon, but Bend is basically the opposite. So
yeah, I haven't spent tons of time in Bend. Spent a lot of time in Grants Pass. And up and down the coast a bit, and it's well, New York's pretty, it's a unique kind of a thing. Grants Pass, like a lot of Oregon, is definitely counts for the Wild West. It's just like, oh shit, no one gives a fuck here. Everyone just does, whatever they want, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that too, man. Grants Pass is gorgeous, and everybody's just pretty laid back out there, from what I could tell. But like
it is beautiful.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's a slower pace out here for sure.
Right. I dig it. I like that. Jason and I were, while Jason was visiting here, we were doing a live stream on Instagram and painting, and he was giving me shit because every time we hung out, we'd walk somewhere and I'd always say hello to everybody. I say hello to everybody. I would try to say, hi, what's up? And hold the door for him or something. Jason's like, yeah, you can't do that in Philadelphia. You end up getting shot or something like that. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
shot.
You will. You will. It will happen. And there's a few different reasons why I say that. Not because people in Philadelphia are inherently angry, even though they pretty much are.
It happen to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
causation is a correlation,
that does generally tend to
another,
happen, but there's part of a reason why Philadelphia specifically, you have to be kind of careful. And just as a standard disclaimer, some of the dates may be wrong that I'm about to say, but there were several mental health facilities in and around Philadelphia as of 30, 40 years ago. When they found out that they were no longer getting any type of government funding, and when the state decided to close them down, they essentially left and just opened up all the doors and let everyone leave.
Yeah, they did that here too. That was a Reagan thing.
So you have to be very careful because there's a very, very large population of people there with a lot of very severe mental disorders. Some of it's more paranoia related. So if they don't know you, they can get a little sketchy. So you do kind of have to be careful about who you say hi to, what you do, where you go, because the last thing you want to do is end up in a situation where, someone thinks that you're some kind of secret spy agent from the government there to take them back to wherever.
How do you know that I'm not?
So you say shit like that in the middle of Philly and you're fucking in a gunfight.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
It is.
On a lot of different platforms. Very unfortunate. But,
it's very unfortunate. I think it's an absolute shame personally. But that's one of many specific reasons why you kind of have to be careful.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
we're also talking about a city that once bombed its own inhabitants. So
Yeah, it's incredible. That story is pretty incredible too.
Yeah,
Ricardo, have you
there's a
ever
little
seen
bit of
The Wire?
hostility there.
No,
What?
I've never seen The Wire.
Oh,
You should watch
yeah.
The Wire. It's
I
Baltimore, so
swear,
it's like a
parts of The
sister
Wire
city
were
or
based off of Philly.
oh,
Okay,
I believe it.
I'll have
But
to check it out.
Baltimore's not that far off. It's
Yeah, Baltimore. I've always liked going to Baltimore as like a little day getaway, but just because it's kind of similar to Philadelphia, but to me it's a bit nicer in certain parts. Like Philadelphia's got Rittenhouse Square area and Old City. Those are very gorgeous places. I mean, lots of culture, lots of art, lots of, parks and recreational areas. I just like the way that Baltimore is a bit more spread out. But that's, my 2 cents on it. So
And you're sticking to it.
it's what I want to believe. It's my perspective.
There you go.
Because as we all know, Ricardo loves the quote, "It's all a matter of perspective."
All a matter of perspective, man.
Speaking of which, if anyone happens to be in the Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Ohio, New York area and wants to stop down and actually meet us live, Ricardo and I will both be at the Gettysburg Tattoo Convention next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be tattooing there. I'll have plenty of time for walk-ups. Got a whole bunch of stuff I'm trying to tattoo. So if anyone is there and anyone is interested in actually coming by and saying hi, we'll be doing some live webcasting. We'll be talking to and probably trying to interview a couple of different artists from different places. We'll be doing some live painting in the evenings, maybe even by the pool, who knows.
Yeah.
But we're really going to try to make it pretty active. So if there's anyone that you might want us to talk to while we're there, or questions that you might want us to ask, or people that you want us to interview that are going to be there and working, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to talk to them, see if we can get them to do some kind of an interview. I think Yalzy's going to be there, so I might
very
sit
cool.
down with him, talk to him about some stuff. There's going to be a lot of really fun people. My friend Devin Cooley's going to be there. He's from Massachusetts as well, from the Boston area, I believe. And I actually just got done running some prints for him. So it's going to be an absolute blast. Anytime Devin and I get together, it's always just an absolutely awesome time.
Nice.
So yeah, that's where we will be next weekend. So if you see a lot of convention coverage going down next weekend, instead of drawing so much, and it looks a little bit crazy, that's why. Because we are not in our standardized environment. We have branched out. We are trying to become social creatures again.
Yeah.
Yay.
What's that?
Yay, socializing.
Right? Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta re-understand like facial recognition, great facial expression.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got used to living the hermit lifestyle, so I'm totally fine not being around other humans, but
yeah,
it's easy for artists.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was never really lonely. Yeah, exactly.
Well, how
I
can
mean, I don't
you
know
be
about you
lonely if you
guys.
have art?
Yeah.
I
don't know about you guys, but our shop was only shut down for a month last year in like March or April, but we've all just worked straight through.
Wow.
Yeah, we were only closed just at that beginning point when there was that, full lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I've been tattooing every day.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to see other artists like on Instagram around the country and in the world, like having to take this like year-long hiatus or however long people are taking. And I just feel, I mean, maybe that's just Oregon being, like we said, like really way too relaxed about some things, but but it's worked in my favor, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania was shut down for 3 months. And
Oh.
that was kind of crazy, but we've been back up and going over a year now, so
Mm-hmm.
everything ended up working itself out.
That's good. That's good.
Like Europe and Australia, a lot of different countries definitely closed down, and they closed down for real. It wasn't like go home and get your family sick. It was like, you're not leaving the house. We're delivering food to you, kind of a shutdown.
Right.
But it's crazy.
Yeah, Illinois, we were shut down for about 3 months, I think. Well, yeah, about 3 months technically. So it wasn't too bad. That second and a half, third month mark, you're like, well, I need to get back to work here pretty soon,
Mm-hmm.
But outside of reality, quote unquote, kind of peeking its head around the corner, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I liked it. I liked being at home, drawing, painting, and stuff like that. I got a lot of reading done, so it was pretty cool. And then I had to move in between it too, so that was pretty weird. Pretty weird driving around in a city full of furniture and nobody's out on the streets at all.
I'm switching cameras here. I'll be back.
What you working on today, Jason?
Just trying to get another design together. As I think I showed you last week, I've got a whole bunch of smaller designs that I'm trying to get done, which actually took a little bit of a break and decided to make some bottle labels, which I thought would be pretty fun and pretty cool for the convention, just in case.
Right.
Yeah, so I printed those off on sticker paper earlier. But I've been working on some like little flash sheets, for some 11 by 14 cardstock that I picked up.
Yeah.
Don't know how
They
well
look
you
great,
guys can
dude.
see that.
Can you pin your
But,
screen?
Yeah, I got like little goldfish there in that one. Chrysanthemum, little dragon guy. Just some fun stuff that I really want to tattoo. And I've got a couple of different images together. Here's another sheet with like a peony flower, another bigger one, another goldfish. I think I'm going to try to get like a Hanya mask together for a Hanya mask, little Onamori. Maybe another chrysanthemum or another peony flower. I was thinking about doing like a little poison bottle one, but then I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't really go with the theme. These are supposed to be like good luck, kind of hang tags, little good luck medallions and good luck charms. So trying to stick with a little bit more of like a positive vibe. So I'm like, okay.
Do you have one of those?
That.
I didn't see those, but do you have one of those? Like I don't know what they're called, but those Japanese, like the little red dude with it's just like a little head and he has two eyes and.
Daruma.
Yeah.
That would be a Daruma doll. Actually, I've got one of those tattooed. It's more of like a neo-trad kind of version of it. But let's see, let me switch cameras.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got a Canadian tattooer by the name of Clint Danroth knocked all of this out at London one year, and it goes like all the way down here, all the way up to like my armpit. Just kind of let him do his thing with it. But he's got the couple of the typical characteristics of Daruma. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, obviously, is that one eye is usually left completely blank, while one eye is colored in. So he did a little variant on that, and he kind of ghosted this one out, so it looks all like milky and faded, kind of dead. And this one's a nice bright green. And that all comes down to part of the story of and the tradition behind the Daruma doll in Japanese culture, where you're supposed to color in one eye at the start of a journey, or when you're facing a challenge, or when you want to accomplish something, and you color in the second eye at the end of it once everything is complete or you've overcome it, and you've conquered that challenge or you've accomplished that goal, and you're supposed to be able to make a wish.
Nice.
So that's why they call them wishing dolls or Daruma dolls. So they're pretty awesome. I love the meaning behind them, and the reason
Yeah.
why I wanted one was because when I really decided to start making, some solid steps, um, and really decided that yes, I'm 100% all in. This is everything my life revolves around. I was starting down a path that I knew, number one, I never wanted to give up. And number two, I knew that would be a path of constant improvement, right?
Mhm.
Because no matter how long you've been doing this, you're going to encounter different challenges. You're going to come across situations and complications that you've never foreseen. And if you're not constantly pushing yourself to do better and be a better artist and look at things a different way and advance everything, if you become complacent, you know, you're going to end up falling behind. So I just really tried to go through and look at that from that kind of a perspective and say to myself, all right, well, nothing's ever going to end up being complete or finished when I head down this path. So, it's always going to be a constant challenge. So I'm probably never going to get the other eye colored in. And he's like, nah, we'll color in the other eye, but we're going to ghost it out and make it kind of dead. So, and I'm like, all right, cool. You do your
Mhm.
thing.
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's
I try
great.
I don't like to be very picky whenever I get tattooed by new artists.
Yeah, same.
Anytime I get tattooed now, it's not really for the actual, like, I want to get this tattooed, or hey, can you tattoo, a koi fish on me or a dragon or whatever. For me now, it's more about the experience and learning. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
really trying to focus on, because every time I get a new tattoo from a different artist, I'm asking them every question I can think of. I'm really trying to pursue that knowledge base to learn, how does this person do what they do? How do they know what they know, and what little tricks are they using that maybe I'm not using?
Mhm.
It-
Totally.
Maybe it's the type of black that they're using for their outlines. Maybe it's their composition. Maybe it's their color scheme or their color palettes that they use. Maybe it's the brand of color that they use. You don't ever know. You can ask all you want, but until you go and you actually get tattooed, you don't really know. And if you don't really know and you try to accomplish the same thing without using the right tools or in the right way or the right techniques or whatever, is it ever going to be on that kind of a level? So I always try to
Question.
just let them do what they do. And, that's part of the reason why I'm pretty picky about who I get tattooed by nowadays.
Yeah.
I'll follow someone's career for 5, 6, 8, 10 years before I break down and say, okay, no, it's time. I need to collect a piece by this person.
Yeah, it's even more special that way.
Absolutely. Like I flew to
Um,
San Diego to get tattooed by Denny Besnard, a guy whose career I had been following for 10 years, who always inspired me with everything that he did. Finally flew out there. He came in on his day off to tattoo me,
mm,
spent the entire day tattooing me. And it was like a religious experience. So it
right.
was absolutely incredible. But
Did you
take
go
your
to
time, dude.
Catholic school or?
I
Sorry, I
did
was just
not.
trying to figure out what kind of religious experience you're talking about. That was a little.
Well, tattoo religion, man. It's
There you go.
Hmm.
Perfect.
it was an epiphany, right?
There you
Because
go.
looking at what he was using, how he was doing it, what he,
Yeah.
everything, his technique was
I
mind
was trying to
blowing to
make a
me.
joke.
I know. I picked up on that, Gabe. I did. Took
Well,
me
I
a
don't
minute, but
understand. What's going on here?
Oh,
you
never
just want to
mind.
see me in a little plaid skirt, don't you, Gabe?
Is that what they did at your school?
Shh, quiet
So,
you. Yeah.
Eddie, have you hit up any conventions, or at this point you're probably just are you attending them maybe, or?
Um, Well, I have been tattooing for basically the pandemic,
Right.
so I haven't been able to have any conventions, sadly. I would love to go, but yeah, probably just as attending. Yeah, I would love to go, especially with the.
Have you been to any out there, like before the
Uh,
pandemic, or?
no, I
I know.
haven't.
Okay.
I was traveling for about a year in like Southeast Asia
Oh, sweet.
until I moved here. So, and then perfect timing though, because right before like travel got closed down, I got back. And then I
Yes.
immediately started tattooing. So it's been kind of I have had like a unique transition into the tattoo industry with my timing. But I was gonna say that I also agree with that, where I get tattooed by artists that I have been following for a while usually, and I try to get flash mostly, or something that I'll reach out to them and say like, what's your, like favorite subject matter or things that you're interested in doing, because I want them to be, it's something that they're passionate about. But when I first entered the tattoo industry, my mentor, who ended up being a shitbag, tattooed me, and um, and it was the kind of thing where I gave him like full artistic freedom on that, and he totally like fucked up my whole leg. And now I'm just working with other artists because I all the artists that worked under him, there was 5 or 6 of us at the shop, and we all left at the same time. Basically for a lot of reasons with what he was doing, but now I just have to deal with like finding artists to help me fix this like disaster that he tattooed on me. It's a huge bummer.
Well, there is always lasering, so it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I have been lasering it actually, but not all of it, because some of it is just really dark. But he like clearly didn't really give a shit
Right.
about tattooing. There was nothing like sacred to him about it, which is just a huge bummer. So now it gives me even more like respect for what I do to people, and also now really finding artists that I trust, and not just taking their word for it.
It is also on us to, like, no one forces us to sit in a tattooer's chair. It's and I don't know, like my mom didn't say much to me, but one of the things she did say was, don't get tattooed, you'll regret it. They're all, so, when I was lasering off on my shitty tattoos, I'm like, ah, man, like, well, 2 things. One, see, Mom, I can't get rid of these tattoos.
Yeah.
They just have to burn it out from the inside. But
yeah,
I mean, it's on us to make sure that we're always getting amazing tattoos, and if no one forced you to sit in that chair, no one forced me to get any of the shitty tattoos, and the good news is, obviously you figured it out pretty quickly, or at least you figured it out, right? And we can actually fix all those mistakes, and tell the stories, hopefully catch other collectors in the very beginning and be like, don't do what we did.
Yeah, exactly. I totally have like hold the responsibility of that situation for sure. That's why I'm saying that it's like it was just a huge lesson learned that artist confidence is not everything, and to follow someone, it's a lot more special to follow someone for a long time and have that client artist trust that it feels really good when people find you that way. So
one of the craziest stories that I've experienced, it was years ago, it was over a decade ago, was people, they were on the old Tattoo Now forum, and this is when it was open and it was rocking. There was tons of people there, and one in particular just had way too much time on his hands and just answered all the questions, and was definitely like you couldn't find his portfolio anywhere online, really, like a couple of blurry pictures, but like his portfolio wasn't anywhere. So after a while, it was clear that the guy was, a fraud. And but then one day I get a phone call and it's like, hey, is this Gabe? I'm like, oh yeah, how are you? And they're like, oh, I'm, such and such, from the forum. And I was like, oh shit, wow, you're a real person. That's crazy. I mean, I don't think I said that out loud, but I was like, oh wow, I thought I really felt like you're just like, part of the internet kind of cast of characters, like you're actually a real person. He's like, yeah, I moved across the country to go apprentice with this guy. And I was like, holy shit, I read about that on the forum. I couldn't believe anyone would possibly do that. I mean, you couldn't possibly apprentice under somebody whose portfolio you've never seen. Right? Like, but like, I guess I kind of remember reading the threads, but all of a sudden this was all becoming really real. And the guy was, ended up, he's like, yeah, he tattooed my arm and he did his freehand tattooing, right? So this guy would always like point to, I don't know, whatever Hernandez or somebody amazing that could do freehand tattoos. But like, again, he couldn't do anything. It was horrible. So he basically fucked up this kid's arm, like completely. The kid, spent all of his money getting across the country to apprentice, with this guy. And I realized that, it wasn't just a bunch of people on the forum. There were actually like real people's and real people's lives. And again, but like, who's responsible for that? Like, we're a place where people can meet. Like, it's not my responsibility that he moved across country and did it. On the other hand, we definitely made decisions in the forum afterwards to be, to run that guy off, and to, try to,
that's good.
Take more responsibility for the content that was being provided. But again, it was an open forum, and it really was the Wild West of forums. It was like no moderation. So I don't know. It's crazy. Everything's crazy. Tattooing is crazy, I guess. That's what we're talking about. Hopefully that guy got it together. And I mean, on the other hand, and that's the other thing was like Tattoo Now was not about a forum. It was like a million amazing images on there. So, it's crazy to sometimes, no matter how you put stuff out with the proper intentions, people will take whatever they want out of it.
Yeah.
It's what, Jason? All a matter of perspective, right?
It is. Needless to say, Eddie, if you're ever interested in heading out to the East Coast again, let us know. We're working at Philly in September. Ricardo and I, we're getting Bruno involved. Bruno runs the Hablamos de Arte, which is absolutely awesome. It's all in Spanish, but he's going to be out there. Our other friend Kira is going to be out there. She works with the Apprenticeship Diaries and Amy Nichols. It's going to be a great time. I'm trying to get more people from the Reinventing community to meet up, so that we can all get together and hang out, maybe do some collaborative painting. Who knows? Maybe we'll have like a freeform art jam with a couple of canvases set up like Ricardo and I like to do.
Yeah.
That's sick.
We're trying to get some fun activities scheduled. So if you're ever interested in heading out to this area, that's where we'll be and what we'll be doing.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm all about meeting new artists and new people from different walks of life that have different experiences. Sitting down, talking to them, interviewing them, and finding out, okay, well, how are you different than me, right? Because we all have different ways that we view the world.
Different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Different experiences, collection of different experiences that make those perspectives, right?
Well, and it's our collective experiences that ultimately lead to us developing the sense of who we are and what we do. It helps develop our sense of identity. I am a tattooer. That is what I do. I'm also obviously live online right now, which is pretty cool. But it's like if people ask me like, oh, what do you do? Who are you? It's like, for me, it's very easy. I'm a tattooer. That is what I do. I'm an artist. I draw, I paint, I design, I tattoo people. That's how I'm mentally identifying myself to other people. all walks of life, all forms of art. Had a very interesting conversation with Christina Christie a couple weeks ago about art, modern art, and different types of art, and how to draw inspiration from all of that. And it was really enlightening. Christina, if you're listening right now, by the way, thank you for that, for expanding my knowledge base. You know, but
Yeah.
that's how I've developed who I am in this world. You know, and it's something I've always known that I wanted to do, and it's something that I've worked my entire life so far towards, with the exception of like the first 12 years of life,
Mm.
because like I was more concerned with like toys and like tag. I was a big tag person. I used to run around and play tag a lot. But you know, ever since like high school, I knew all I wanted to do was be a tattooer. And I wanted to immerse myself in it because I thought it was one of the greatest things in the world. And it really is. I was not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people out there that just don't acknowledge it for what it is, and it makes me really, really sad. You know,
Yeah, it's
we are
true.
Oh yeah,
practitioners. We're
it's so fucking
practitioners of a
annoying.
sacred right that's been around for thousands of years. You know, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. All the people that are down on tattoo. Like, I never really gave that much of a care about what other people think or value. And for me, with tattooing, like, I literally, I mean, not literally. Now I'm talking like my daughter. I actually watch, you know, people be able to fulfill their artistic potentials and travel the world if they want to. What do they want to? I mean, and therein lies, you know, some of the drama and the issues. It's like it really does allow you to be exactly who you want to be, whether that's an asshole or somebody that's awesome. You know, you could still do it. You know, if you're an asshole, your ceiling lowers. You know, but you know, there's such a great amount of energy behind tattooing. You can be an asshole and still make really good money. You know, and be self-enabled to be an asshole. But anyways, the point is that we really want to, you know, amplify people's positive, you know, contributions to the arts. And yeah, tattooing is very unique. It's also very high stakes. You know, it's one of the reasons why there's that much energy. But yeah, it's completely unique. It's
Pretty
pretty
well
amazing.
said, Gabe. Yeah, it's pretty well said. I agree with you completely. Like, it's all about a choice. It's all about a perspective. It's all about learning along the way. You know what I mean? And you're right. You can kind of take it as far as you want to, or you can just be that dick and, oh, I'm just get paid all this money. Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. All these people know me everywhere I go, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, what's it really about for you? It's your choice. But like you said, you know, ultimately it boils down to that positive energy, trying to spread that positive energy and trying to be part of something bigger than yourself. Trying to show other people that they can be bigger than what they think they are too, more than what they think they are.
What's the somebody out there? I think it's the special forces people. They're like, you know, when your brain says you're done, you know, you're like 40% of the way done.
Right.
Or you know, when you think you're at your max, you're like 40% to your max. You know, and the people that want to really keep pushing in through that discomfort zone when the brain's like, ah, fuck it, whatever, it's good enough.
Yeah.
You know, or you can tell the difference. You know.
It's the difference
That's cool. I
between
haven't heard that.
complacency and, you know, non-complacency. When you become complacent, you become stagnant because you no longer have a drive to improve it or perform better or do better or advance.
It's the doing better, the high performing, right? Is when you're really trying to push it, like marathon runners and stuff. It's not even just running; it's like running as far as possible. Or again, with special forces, you know, they're underwater or whatever, you know, and they're holding their breath underwater, you know, and your brain's like, time to go. You know, but it's like, wait, you know, if I've, you know, breathed enough oxygen in ahead of time before I went underneath the water, I've got another fucking 5 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever the fuck, you know, and or to keep pushing past the no, it's tattooers. It all takes a lot of time too. I mean, ultimately, it's just an exceptionally time-consuming art, comparatively, you know, on a crazy unforgiving medium. That's imperfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand the homework that goes into it too, you know. Like since we're talking about work, you know what I mean, and putting the time and effort in. There's a lot of homework that goes into this too, man, especially if you want to succeed, especially if you want to grow and get better. There's a lot of extra time that you spend where people are going out, somebody's hanging out, watching movies and stuff like that, and you're kind of, you know, chilling on the couch by yourself, totally content, and like watching a movie in the background, just drawing, learning, painting, trying to communicate with people. But I think, Gabe, what I heard you say is that like in October, you're gonna get up and go to the gym with me in the morning. Is that what you're saying?
In October, if there's exercise, you know what exercise I do. I walk every day for long periods of time.
Right.
You know, gyms are definitely not something that I can do. I mean, I'm a 100% computer geek, so like, you know, I could barely accept, you know, sweating myself. Like, I just don't really like. I'm a computer geek. You know, there's no sweating involved.
Right.
You know, other people sweating around me, fuck that. I just I'll go take a walk around the mountain. Yeah, you know, I could get into the mountain biking thing until one of our I'm a little bit too old for taking a dump. A friend of ours, an acquaintance of ours, just cracked his fucking neck back area. You know, falling off a bike. Can't feel his, you know, can feel his toes, which means there's hope. But like, can't feel anything in between. So it's like, ah, man, like, I don't want to. I'm not. I can't roll the dice on that shit because. So like I said, I walk fast. That's about as. Unfortunately, that's not enough.
Have you tried swimming?
Yeah, my daughter swims. My daughter's like actually a competitive swimmer.
Yeah, I used to be. I mean, it's the only form of exercise that I feel at all capable of.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's definitely like a high, you know, caloric burning off of for the amount of time. Actually, I'll stop after this story though because it's not really all that relevant. But my daughter is coaching swimming. So yesterday I realized that there's people that call her Coach Ripley, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's a Coach Ripley in like every part. Like all of a sudden I'm in a movie where there's like a high school coach who's like, get back in the pool, swim more laps. Oh, Coach Ripley, no.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit. But yeah, no, I mean I'm mid 40s, so like any form of exercise that I could have tried, I've already tried and rejected. You know, except for I'll figure it out though. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
I like to run a lot. Like I like to run away from, you know, responsibilities, you know, obligations, you know, and anything where I have to adult, I like to run as far away and as fast as I can away from that. So, I mean, that's the exercise I usually get. Or, you know, I call the bar my gym. You know, I'll do some 16-ounce curls. You know, on heavy days, I'll do some 24-ounce curls. You know, but that's about the extent of the exercise that I usually get. Ricardo tried to.
How do you guys take care of your bodies? Like tattooing every day is such a hard thing on your body. Your back and hands.
Ergonomics, and diet.
Diet's important.
Diet is very important.
I go to the gym. I try to go to the gym every day.
And by gym, he means the actual gym, not the bar.
Right.
Gotcha.
And like when Jason and I were hanging out in Illinois, I try to get him to get up every morning with me. Oh, no.
I think I threatened your life at one point in time when you tried to wake me up at 5 o'clock.
Yep. But I agree with you though, Jason. Ergonomics is an important one. You can do as simple as yoga. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just simple yoga even. Like that's so beneficial for you. You know, there's some simple stretches and stuff like that help out quite a bit that I've found, like especially as being a tattoo artist and being sedentary for a long time. Before I started getting into this lifestyle, I had to repair quite a bit of, you know, tight shoulders, like a week back, lower back and stuff like that. So, and that involved a lot of like just real simple stretches. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Stretching is
But
key.
yeah, stretching is key. You know what I mean? And I always try to tell people when you're doing long sessions, it's always good to get up and move around a little bit for the client and the tattoo artist, really. It's good for everybody to just get that blood flowing and stuff like that again, too. But yeah, personally, I think for me, the gym has been super beneficial in a lot of different ways. I like to get a lot of thinking for the day done around that time. It kind of zones me in, and I like to contemplate a lot of shit around that time too.
One thing I constantly get reminded of is to stretch my eyes. So like every 2 hours when I'm in a long session with someone, or even if it's not a long session, but it's been about 2 hours, I'll get up, I'll take a break, quick 5-10 minute break, nothing crazy, because I don't want them, to think, oh, well, we've got 20 to 30 minutes, because by that point in time, their body has already started to heal. And because their body has already started to healing, it's just going to suck that much more when we go back into it. So I always try to keep them very quick. I like to stretch my eyes, to help preserve my eyesight, even though it's continuously, degrading over time, just from staring at something a few inches in front of your face for a long period of time, right? You have to get up, you have to stretch your eyes out.
Yeah,
Focus on something
refocusing for
in the
sure.
distance.
Absolutely.
How do you stretch your eyes?
Instead of focusing on something, say 12 to 18 inches in front of your face, like you would if you were tattooing, right? And I have short arms. That's why I say 12 to 18 inches, because like I'm not a very tall dude. I'm not. So like my reach is maybe 16 inches, maybe 18, if I'm lucky on a good day.
Maybe 12.
Yeah, I'm probably closer to like 12 or 13 inches.
Whatever,
So,
dude.
I mean, Gabe's met me. It's, I'm not a
You were
very
bigger
tall
than I
dude.
thought. I was like, wow.
So like for me to get up and walk around, I'll try to focus on something 15 to 20 feet away from me, and just let my eyes wander outside the studio window, focus on stuff across the street.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I work in a pretty big studio, so I'll even focus on paintings and drawings that are hanging on the walls across the studio. So I'm constantly looking at stuff way further out, as opposed to stuff that's that much closer to me. That way my eyes can get used to that back and forth, and they're not just stuck looking at something this close to me.
Yeah, like focusing on like the horizons and as far away as possible. It's pretty much anything. I mean, and this is, relatively universal, like pretty much any repeating pattern that you do multiple times again and again and again, and with tattooing or like computer programming, or I mean, there's a lot of crafts where you end up doing repetitive things for long periods of time. You need to come up with like the kind of like the opposite action, so that not only are you like cramped forward with your shoulders down for 3 hours, but like you're sitting up straight with your shoulders back for 3 hours, with the trying to get the opposite muscles to actually engage. And it's really tough because you end up in these patterns for a reason. And the anti-pattern or the opposite pattern is not natural, because it's just but yeah, refocusing your eyes, you can even do that while you're tattooing. So we'll just look up and get your eyes across the room, and look back down.
Yeah, my buddy that I tattoo with, he was tattooing his chiropractor the other day in the shop. So which was kind of cool, because we got to talk to him. And he was saying that we should, he calls it tummy time, which is like when you you have a young kid, like a toddler or a baby, you put him on their tummy for tummy time, and it because we're not used to stretching that way,
stretching back.
And he was
sure.
And he's like, you guys should just in your day always set off some time to have tummy time, and lie on your stomach and move around on your stomach, which is just kind of hilarious, the concept, but I think it does actually totally help your back.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
'cause we
tattoo
get-
shop's always a rough one to advise people to get on the. Although I suppose you could do it on the massage tables, right?
Sure. Yep.
Well,
Yeah, you get so sedentary, you get stuck in that one position, and your body just wants to lock up into that. It just naturally wants to stay in that one position that you're always in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
so
can do the
used to
opposite,
being
hunched over. Yeah, that was the thing
like
with
a
me.
banana.
Right, and your shoulders too. Your shoulders will naturally start to curve towards the front of your body too. Like you'll start to kind of cinch your arms forward even, because we naturally just sit, forward with our arms in front of us, and that creates a lot of problems for us too. A lot of mobility issues, a lot of problems, and it's all connected. So you have one area that's off, it's going to start affecting everything else. It's going to compensate to a certain degree too.
So this may sound like a funny question for you guys, but what are you sitting, like what kind of a chair or a stool are you sitting on as you're tattooing?
Good question.
I tattoo sitting on like a rolling stool that's just, a circle. There's no back, and I just tried to get one online that I could tell from the pictures had like the largest cushion I could find, so that it was like hopefully the most comfortable. So it's like, I don't know, that thick. It's not terrible. The two of the artists I work with sit on pedicure chairs actually, so they're a lot lower to the ground, so they don't have to lean over as much. So, and they have like a tiny little back and like a little butt shape in the seat, but mine is just like a plain old circle.
So one thing I picked up a few years back, after talking with someone that worked in the field of like ergonomics, who had terrible back problems and terrible back pain from working in an office setting for many, many years. They, I remember looking at what they were sitting on one day, and it was this weird, like, it looked like a horse's saddle. And I'm like,
okay,
what
I was
is
just gonna
that?
say, someone at
And
my
it's a
shop
saddle
sits
stool.
on that too.
I picked one up, and it has been absolutely incredible. I mean, the one I have
Yes,
doesn't
but
have the best padding, but it forces you to sit with a much straighter back. And I've noticed a huge difference when I'm working at shows and I've got like a flat top stool that I'm working on, just a standard like doctor stool with like wheels. Or if I'm back at the studio and I have a saddle stool, I've gotten so used to sitting on it that it's absolutely incredible. My back doesn't hurt when I sit on it. It doesn't allow you to lean forward quite as much. So you actually do have to sit with a straighter back and like get closer to the client, which I've always found to be, a lot easier on my back. So I'm not leaning over quite as much. And I've never had any back issues ever since I got it.
right, I'm just gonna assume that you don't wear like dresses when you tattoo though, right?
That is correct.
So the problem with the saddle stool though is, it prohibits, unless I want to flash all my clients, which I don't think they pay for that.
No. Yeah, that would be an issue.
Right.
That
But
would be an
besides that,
issue.
I have tried out that chair because we have one of those in our shop. It is bizarre to get used to, but I can totally see what you mean, where it does make you sit up straighter.
And they do have some without quite the same kind of contour. They have some that are very minimal as far as contour goes. So that's always nice. You could always look into something like that. Or they
Right.
even have some that are more of like a ball shape. So they're not really like a saddle per se, but it's like a little floating ball that you can sit on that will
Oh, that's
force you
cool.
to sit a little bit more naturally. So there's all types of different, ergonomic type seating out there, and
yeah,
I
the
have really
surgeon
found that to be
stools.
helpful.
If you talk about any of the surgeon stools, I just popped back in, but there's often there's stools that will have they're like those square ones that you were talking about, or not the square ones, but the thick padded circle ones. But then they have what do you call them? There's things that you could lean on, like an arm that, like a swivel, like an arm that swivels around. You can either use it to lean on forward or to rest your back on. Often, if you're looking for stuff, if you do a search for surgeons setups, they're designed to be, leaning over people for long periods of time, while being, while tiring you out less.
Right.
A fair amount of tattooing you could do standing up too. Adrian Lee from Analog is always, putting people on the massage table and then popping them up so that he's able to tattoo a lot of people standing. He's also doing a lot of large scale tattoos. It's not necessarily like.
Yeah. No, I stand a lot actually. That can also be tiring though. You kind of have to just keep repositioning yourself.
Well, I think ultimately that's the thing is to, if you have a couple different ways that you can do things, you don't want to do them the same exact way every time. You want to be efficient every time. But if you do things the same exact way every single time, that becomes how you end up with problems, right? So if you're always doing things well, but
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, variation is key. Which is another thing that a lot of people don't factor in, even when it comes down to art, right? Variation is key. You want to vary things up. I remember when I was out getting tattooed by Guy, a concept that came up that was kind of new to me was repetition and graduation, right? You want to have ideas and concepts that are repeating, but that are evolving as they repeat. Whether that's scales or chrysanthemum petals or peony petals or rose petals or dragon claws, which if you look at those, it's usually a series of 3 different claws, but each one can graduate in a different way, right? But you want to have that kind of repetitive nature. So repetition is very, very key. But at the same time, you also want to make sure that everything gets varied at the same time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like with bio stuff, there's a lot of formulas or formulaic things. It also mimics a lot of nature, where you could tell when people are just kind of figuring it out because they may even have repeating patterns, but they're all just the same size or whatever. And it's like, go look at a crab's claw or whatever. Like all those scales start off, or or the little hooks or whatever they are. They start off big, and then it's the same hook that reduces in size. Or similarly with like a branch of different vegetation, different plants. The petals at the very end are much smaller. They're still forming, and then as they get closer to the stalks, they're getting bigger and bigger. Sometimes. Different like whatever fiddleheads or something, or maybe or.
Yeah, I always go more for sea life when it comes down to drawing anything bio.
Yeah.
I love looking at nautilus shells. I love looking at conch shells or I forget what they're called, but mollusks and different types of seashells of different types of creatures. Looking at things like that have weird textures and starfish even, right? Because some of them have these really intricate texture pattern spines on them. Absolutely fascinating to me, right? So I'll look at stuff like that as opposed to stuff like that you would find if you were out walking in the forest.
Yeah, the ocean life is so alien to us that it's always my favorite thing to draw, especially going into tattooing. Right off the bat, I was always trying to sell sea life. It's just everything in the ocean has such a unique pattern, and texture, like you're saying. And it's so out of the world that we, you know, are in contact with every day.
I always liked looking at antlers and deer skulls and stuff like that, coyote skulls and such. There's a lot of interesting texture and little, like the seams where the bones are fused together and such. There's a lot of interesting contour and repeating pattern and that kind of stuff too. That was always pretty fun for me, especially the antlers. The antlers.
Eddie, it's funny that you brought up the fact that you like tattooing sea life, because I was talking to a friend of mine that works out in New Jersey the other day, and they said they work out, I believe it's Southern New Jersey. I forget where exactly, but because they just moved studios, they're like, that's all people have been coming in wanting to get tattooed.
Oh,
she's like, I tattoo at least one seashell a day, and not
oh my
like
God.
they're not small, like simple seashells. These are like super intricate, like conch shells, those like weird spirally kind of ones. She's like, I do at least one of those a day.
Wow.
And
I'm like, what? That sounds fun.
Oh shit, we got a bunch of chats here in the YouTube, it looks like. Okay, let's see. So Atomic Injections 47 says the same almost a year and a half. This was a while ago. This was Eddie when we were talking about how long you've been tattooing. Said you should have come through. I don't know if you know Atomic or if they're New York. Let's see. Ginger says, good morning all. Oh, Jason, you've been in the chat room there. You said, hey, Jen. Let's see. Ginger says, haha, Gabe, I must have said something funny. I hope it was funny, not serious. I want to beam in, but my connection is slow as fuck at the moment. Sorry to hear that, Ginger. Maybe at some point you'll get it back. Oh, she keeps laughing. You guys are funny. Yoga and getting the dogs out and about for exercise. Yes, having dogs to take out is great. Ginger says, brother gave her a saddle, seat, stool, and it's great, but she laughed about the long skirt. Oh, you need to have long skirts.
Oh, yeah. All right. Fair enough.
And then Jesse Spencer says, I love my dental assistant stools. Oh, dental assistant stools. Yeah, that's probably another one of those where you're, yeah, again, like they're leaning over someone's mouth for long periods of time. Now, the other thing is sometimes when you're going for the dental equipment or the surgeon equipment, because dentists and doctors make a lot of money, then they will often, they're not the super cheapest. So there's a real sweet spot with companies that are like, hey, I could actually make the same thing effectively for less money, and there is less liability. Tattooing, you want to be precise, and but it is not actually heart surgery.
Great. Well, back to what you were saying about in New Jersey, apparently everyone loves getting seashells. I definitely advertise that I specialize or prefer to do a lot of sea life. And there was a month where I did jellyfish. I mean, I got so tired of doing jellyfish. I was doing jellyfish every other day. Running out of ways of drawing jellyfish on people. So there's I definitely would love people to come in with there's so many crazy different creatures in the ocean. Shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, jellyfish are really sick, but at this point I'm like, if someone asks me to do another jellyfish, swear to God.
I really want to tattoo an anglerfish on someone.
Oh yeah, I've had an anglerfish in my flash for so long. I want someone to grab that.
I think they are just some of the most badass sea creatures ever. Right?
Yeah.
They literally developed a way to fish.
Yeah, they have a lure.
Right?
Yeah. If a fish bites off their maybe it's bioluminescent, I don't know, their lure that glows. If a fish bites it off, they just regrow it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I know. When I was in New York, actually, I went to the Museum of Natural History, and they had this whole ocean life thing going on. They had like every animal in the ocean, like actual, like a model of it, actual size, so you could see the size differences between. They had a blue whale that was filled the entire gallery. I don't know, I can't even explain how large it was, but just to give you like perspective on how different and how diverse the ocean is. And they had different models of anglerfish and cousins of anglerfish and stuff. It was they're so fucking crazy looking. Their teeth, some of the anglerfish, their teeth don't even like fit in their mouth. They have to like come out in front of their face.
Yeah, they like just walk around with that jaw protruding.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They're the so if their lures grow back, then they're like the sea gecko, the crazy little sea gecko, huh?
Yeah,
lizard. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah. Also, the females. The females are the ones that you see that are, or well, no one sees them because they're in the depths of the ocean. But like the ones that we see pictures of and drawings of that are the size of like a football, those are the females. And then the males are about an inch tall, and they just live to mate. And then once they mate, they die.
Wow. Sounds
So
right.
it's pretty much like a lot of the rest of the animal world, right? Because you see that a lot with different species where I mean, look at black widows, right? Black widow spiders. The males by comparison are not very big. You know, same thing with praying mantis.
Are the praying mantis males really tiny? I didn't know that.
They're smaller than the females. The females are the ones that everyone like can recognize instantly. They're usually brightly colored. They usually have very long, extended arms. But the males do not even come close to the size of the females.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think they're quite that disproportionately small, but they are not very big.
Yeah, that's interesting. But there, I mean, it goes the other way too, right? I mean, peacocks, the males are the pretty ones. The ducks, males are the shiny ones.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, even looking at you know, lions, right? The male lion significantly larger than the female. The female, in my opinion, is far more deadly, but you know, the male lions are usually a bit bigger. But yeah, the underwater life is just crazy. Absolutely. And there's so much of the ocean floor that we have yet to explore.
Yeah, it's like 30% or something that we've explored so far. Yeah, it's wild. That is like one downside of not living in a city anymore, because like I said, I used to live in Chicago for a few years when I was going to school there, and the benefit of that is to me the museums. I miss living near museums where you can really check out. In Chicago, there's the Field Museum, just of like, you know, and yeah, being able to, I mean, all different kinds of museums. It's great to go to ones that, you know, there are paintings and sculptures and completely different types of art than what we do, to get inspiration. But also those, you know, the scientific museums are just always so inspiring to me. I love drawing animals and natural, organic, you know, things. And I mean, even for people that are touching more abstractly, like basing it out of nature, right? That's usually what we do.
That's exactly what I'm looking at.
I will have to say this, and Ricardo, as much as I know that this is probably going to disappoint you,
okay,
you know, I hate to say this, but that's probably one of the reasons why I will never move away from the general area in which I am.
Yeah.
because in 2 hours I can be up in New York at a museum up there. In 3 hours I can be down in Maryland or Washington D.C. and I can go to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah,
In
man.
30 minutes alone, I can be down in Philadelphia and go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art,
Yep.
the Barnes Foundation, which is a private art collection open to the public, but it's absolutely incredible. I can
Wow.
even go to the Muter Museum, which is one of 3 of its kind in the world, and I have all of that within a very short drive.
Right at your disposal. Yeah. That makes
And
sense. I mean, I'm like 2.5 hours away from anything on both sides, north or south. So I get it.
And Ricardo, once you go to the Muter Museum, you'll understand why I love going there.
All right.
The Muter Museum is a museum of medical oddities.
Oh yeah, we
Oh my
talked
God.
about that. Yeah.
Okay. They've got the skeletons of conjoined twins as long as a plaster replica of how they were conjoined. They have a plaster cast of the tallest man ever recorded to live, right next to the shortest person ever recorded to live.
Oh my
They've
God.
got
Amazing.
drawers filled with objects that people have swallowed and ingested. I'm not even kidding you. It's absolutely insane.
So we're just gonna
They
go
have
straight
a
there then,
wall
right?
of nothing but skulls,
Oh man, that sounds like heaven to me.
right? And what you see is a fraction of the collection that they actually possess.
Right.
Wow.
That's the case for most museums, right? It's so wild.
Oh yeah, everything's kind of like just stuck behind the closed locked door, right? It's a private
Or
collection
in
kind of deal.
storage, or maybe
Or
they're
yeah,
trying to go with
preservation.
a specific theme, or
Right. Right.
maybe they've got a special exhibit out that they want to complement, so they'll only exhibit things that go with that.
Hmm.
I remember talking to a guy a few years ago in England. I was over at the London Tattoo Convention. He had put on an entire exhibit of old Japanese woodblock prints.
Nice.
And so I went over and I was looking at them and studying them and looking at all the angles to try to really see the paper grain and, how raised was it in certain spots from the actual wood. Did the grain of the wood that they were using have an impact on the way that all of the ink and paint laid? I was really studying these, and I got the guy's business card, and he actually had a storefront 20 to 30 minutes away from the tobacco dock, which is where the London Tattoo Show was. So I hopped on the train and took a trip out there to go and find it. And I stopped by and, introduced myself, told him I saw his exhibit at the London Tattoo Convention. And we started to talk, and he started to pull out like all of these super, super rare Japanese prints, because part of what he does is restoration. But I ended up getting to talk to him about, a lot of just like museums, and how he'll go through and talk to different museums about purchasing specific things from their private collections that don't really get exhibited.
Oh man, that's
And he's
incredible.
made an entire business out of it.
Wow. So it's just
So,
like,
and
yeah, the things that other people might not find very much interest in, right? So is that the case?
right, but these museums might be holding on to them, and they might have been in storage for 40 or 50 years to the point that
Right.
people don't even know that they have them.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So
Yeah,
he'll make an
sure.
appointment with curators and museum directors and all that stuff, and basically turn around and say, listen, I have a client that wants to acquire, one of these prints or this suit of armor or maybe a sword or whatever, that wants to acquire this specific artifact that you have in your collection that you haven't put on display for 60 years. We're willing to offer you a premium price for it. Are you willing to sell it? And he'll go through and buy these unbelievable artifacts from museums and private collectors, and turn around and sell them to other private collectors after they've been professionally restored and cataloged. you know, because you have to show provenance whenever you're selling a very old antique work of art to show that, yes, it is authentic. Yes, this did come from this collection that was held by this person for this period of time. Before that, it was purchased by this person. You have to show a history of it. That way people know it's legit, you know, and it wasn't stolen from someone's house or apartment, you know, and then, you know, they're trying to sell something legit on the black market, and that's a whole nother issue. But you have to do your homework and show where everything came from. So they have to do a whole bunch of paperwork and cataloging and all that stuff. But, you know, he was telling me, he's like, it's absolutely incredible the amount of art that different museums are sitting on that they never decide to show to the public.
Crazy.
And then he let me hold an original copy of the 47 Ronin,
Dang,
which
dog.
I completely and totally geeked out on. It was an original first edition woodblock print of the story of the 47 Ronin, and I was in my glory. It was absolutely insane. Because like I had read the story, I had, you know, I actually took the time to read the legend and the story of the 47 Ronin before the movie ever came out with Keanu Reeves. And it was powerful. It was a very powerful story about, you know, a group of people that stood up for what was right, even though they knew that they would have to take their own life for doing so.
Power of
You know,
love.
when you look at a lot of people in today's world and you ask them, are you willing to give your life to do what is right? You know, if you know for a fact that you are going to have to take your own life out of honor and pride for doing what is right, is that something you're willing to do? Most people would turn around and they would definitely hesitate. These people did not.
Let's do it. Well, Jason, I think I'm going to be able to get this wrapped up in time.
Well, I would hope so, man. Otherwise, you don't have a convention banner.
Yeah. So,
What do you think I reminded you a few weeks ago to get started on it?
yeah. Yeah, good thing. Or so I would have just
Well,
stuck a little business card up on the you know, fabric and there you go, there's my banner.
right? Oh yeah. Oh, you can't see it? Oh, it's cool, man. Just yeah, I'll just tell you my information. How's that sound?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Or
it's
you
an
could be like the one.
exercise for your eyes.
There you go, see?
Well, yeah. Good point.
Pulling it all the way back around.
There we go.
Yep.
That's it. You're hired. That was awesome.
That's pretty good.
Or you could do what one guy at the Philly convention did one year. He went and talked to the refreshment people, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a couple of those cardboard boxes you have in the back?"
Oh, nice.
Took a Sharpie and some of the cardboard
Nice.
from like I think it was like a hot dog box or something like that, and wrote all of his information on the cardboard, grabbed a couple of pieces of duct tape from someone and taped that up.
Perfect.
That's classy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's real
damn,
classy.
dude. Well, necessity is the mother of invention.
That's what I'm saying. It's innovative.
Well, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
It's my story, Jason. I'm sticking to it.
You do what you got to do. I know another guy that didn't have time to get a banner together that ended up taking a vinyl shower curtain and some spray paint, and he ended up spray painting this like kind of crazy and loose design, and took some Liquitex acrylic paint markers over top of it to write his name on it, and he used that as his convention banner.
Nice. But it looked pretty cool.
But not as cool as a real convention banner.
It's true.
right? It was one of those things where you could tell it was thrown together last minute.
As a convention promoter, I always highly suggest making sure that your shit looks great and not last minute-y. At least, for the shows that I end up at.
Well, yeah, it makes the whole show seem better anyway. Not just your own booth.
Well, I think it goes beyond that too, because to me, it's like the convention banner that you have is kind of like who you're presenting yourself to be when people walk past you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you're not putting your best face forward when people are walking past you, then why should they stop to actually pay attention to you and what you're doing?
Right.
So, I mean, that's, once again, my opinion on it. Different people have different opinions. And I understand last minute, we've all been there. But I always try to put my best foot forward, especially at shows, because you never know who's going to be there. I mean, what was it? There was the one dude from Jurassic Park that always says life finds a way.
Jeff Goldblum.
Forget his name now.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yes. Jeff Goldblum. He stopped down to the Baltimore Tattoo Convention a couple of years ago to do some filming.
Show, right?
And the last thing you wanted to do is end up, being part of the background when Jeff Goldblum's walking around and have a shower curtain up as your convention banner. You don't want to be in that position.
Well, I mean, you could always get quoted, life always finds a way, I suppose. But...
No, because you don't end up on the video.
That's true.
I used to have in our handbook, we're going to put the cameras on at any given moment, right? So, like, don't be doing stupid shit or saying stupid shit, like, make sure everything looks right. If you have cameras, live stream in your studio all the time, it definitely everything just kind of gets tightened up one more round because it kind of has to. Not everything, normally has to be like TV ready. It's definitely, as you all know, as you're putting the cameras on things, like, you got to be precise with it if you can.
Speaking of which, I'm actually probably going to get going in a little bit. I got to add some metallic gold acrylic paint to the convention banner that you see behind me. Because I want to take the yellow that's in it now and make that, a little bit more eye-catching. That way it kind of mimics my business cards.
Well, it's been fun hanging out, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Eddie, you are always welcome to jump in and join us. Please.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to make a lot more of these.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty awesome piece you're working on.
Oh, thank you. It's just flash. I want to sell this as a sleeve idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like the animals eating animals.
And...
Do you want me to turn it around?
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
It's a vulture versus a snake.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to do more animals eating animals. I think it's really fun.
Radical. Flowers look awesome too. It doesn't take away from it. It just complements it. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you. This is
nice.
I can't. It's gone through a lot of stages. It's gone through a lot of stages. It takes me. I draw on big paper first, and then I take a photo of that and put it on the iPad, and then move stuff around, and then sometimes I print it out and keep working on paper. It just goes back and forth. But thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you guys ever do like more kind of critique type things in these drawing times, or is it?
We do occasionally, yes. I mean, so Ricardo and I are part of like a little private group chat that we have going on with some friends. And we're always reaching out to each other for critiques and You know, we're always saying, okay, guys, just got done this one.
Yeah.
What could look better? You know, what can I work on for the next one? What can I work on for the next one? Or, you know, what color palette should I have used? Or, you know, what technically do I need to work on a little bit more? And so we're always constantly going back and forth because we're all striving to improve and get better. You know,
Yeah, I'd
the
love
only way
that.
you can do that is through critique and through criticism.
Yeah, bro. And then on Monday nights, there's the guy, Epson, drawing guy.
Yep.
He critiques every pieces that he gives you homework for. That's always
Yeah,
pretty
we
good.
do,
I've learned a ton in that alone just since I first joined on here. It's changed everything that I do pretty much.
So you have drawing assignments that have nothing to do with what you're working on for tattooing?
correct.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, each
cool.
week focuses on something else, right? Like we did a whole unit on texture, right? And creating the
yeah,
illusion of texture. We did one on lighting and how light can affect and highlight and really change the way that we look at different things, right? Backlighting versus ambient lighting versus hard directional light versus reflective light, you know, multi-point light source versus single point light source. You know, so every week we try to cover something different. And then before we get started with that week's assignment, we go through and critique the previous weeks.
And
that
then,
all
that's great.
And then
culminates.
before you know it, all of a sudden you're using all of those techniques in the next set of tattoo designs that you're doing.
Entirely.
Oh yeah, of course. Wow, sounds like everything I was missing from art school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we talk about that in the classes quite a bit actually. The art school, you know, environment gets brought up quite a bit, and how it was either not quite beneficial or not beneficial at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, great. I can totally add to that.
Yeah.
From my observations, it's like watching a lot of people go to like the art dojo and, you know, do their training a couple times a week, you know, and then there's a couple of, you know, they're all level classes, but yeah, then those Mondays, it's like everyone's in there with Guy, you know, getting critiqued, and, you know, he should be, I hope someday maybe he'll get like, maybe we'll have him do like one round of like harsh critique, not harsh critique, but sometimes I feel like he's very patient.
I would love some harsh critiques.
Then I would suggest submitting your stuff to Drunk Critique.
Yep. Yeah.
If you really want to have your stuff torn apart bit by bit to know what you need to work on, submit to Drunk Critique. And make sure Joe Capobianco is on there. And he will make sure that you know everything that you were not doing right. I've been there. I did it.
Yeah, the Drunk Critiques are very fun. We'll do those in October at the BYOB. We'll do it live. We'll do a live Drunk Critique.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I figured it out. I think we're going to start it at 11 o'clock at night or midnight, so that, you know, we can do the social drinking ahead of time. We don't have to have a 6-hour Drunk Critique marathon. We can just do an hour, get it over with, and then,
I think part of the fun, though, is seeing the evolution of everyone getting wasted, right?
Yeah. The thing is, like a live event, there's just real practical considerations with live events. Like we're renting Jimmy Peak, right? Like we just can't. The investment that it takes to get loaded for fucking 6 hours, and then the repercussions for the next day.
Yeah,
you know, to be able to try to pull it off in the context of a live event. Look, I mean, it's against my better judgment. We probably shouldn't have Drunk Critique live. It sounds like a horrible idea.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to get some chairs with some binding of some sort. Be like, just chill out, guy.
But Bob and Tony are coming up, so Thea's
Tony's
going to be there. Tony's going to be there. Yeah, Thea Duskin's a drunk critiquer. Jake Meeks is a drunk critiquer. Tony Urbanik, Haley Adams, she'll be a drunk critiquer. Yeah, we'll have a drunk critique full on. Anyways, cool. Well, it has been an awesome hour and 45 minutes. Are we calling it? Is that what's happening? It doesn't make it. I'm not even driving. Jason, you're driving.
Yeah, might as well.
Cool.
You know, I've got quite a few things I need to get done today, and I'm tattooing today at 5 o'clock. So trying to
Awesome.
make sure everything's ready for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the
So-
BYOB website up. So yeah, so if you guys want to send over a picture and or a little paragraph and a title, then I'll get it up on the event schedule.
Is this, do you, for drunk people to critique art, is this like art only, no tattoos or anything?
Oh, it's tattoos. If you do a search on Google for drunk critique, or drunk critique Bob Tyrrell, you'll see hours and hours of it. And you can get a lot out of their critiquing other people's work too. But you'll get a full,
Right.
the full experience. There's like a 9-hour holiday edition. That's the one that Jason was talking about. If like a Paul
I
Booth
still haven't made
on,
it
Joe
through
Cap
that one
came
all
on.
the way, by the way.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how I made it through the whole way. I had to have. Because
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know how you survived, Gabe.
that one, there's a couple of them that were. And again, part of it's like surviving the drunk critique is one thing, but then the aftermath, especially, I got a family here, right, and they don't deserve to, like I'm sure I'm reaping what I'm sowing, at fucking 11 o'clock after drinking for 9 hours, not being as quiet as I should be, on a school night. Well, that's
We're like, it's for work.
Yeah, and that is the truth. I could actually write it off. Anyways, I'm gonna boogie. Have fun, everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll talk soon.
Take care,
Take it
Gabe.
easy,
All right,
Gabe.
thanks, guys.
Eddie, I just sent you a follow request on Insta. I'm pretty sure that's you, by the way. Bad for the fish.
Yes, that's me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just followed you. Yeah, I'd love to get you back on here again a few times and chat with you some more.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Maybe
Yeah,
even get
feel
you
free
back
to
out.
critique.
Well, I
Feel
mean,
free to critique anything you want on Instagram.
I will be happy to if there are ones you want me to look at, but I'm
Yeah.
far from being anywhere near what my potential is, so I'm just have to work harder. But yeah, I'll be happy to if you want me to. Maybe we'll get you back out to the East Coast and have you join us in Philadelphia one day.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. I'm sure I'll see you back on here. I'll try to make more.
Absolutely. Well, let me, I'll go through and spotlight you for everyone. Why don't you go through and give us a quick little sign off? Tell us where we can find you if we want to get tattooed by you, and basically just give us some information. Yeah, so go ahead and let us know where we can get a hold of you or how we can contact you. Let us know how we can get in touch with you.
Me?
Yep.
All right. My name is Eddie. My Instagram is Bad for the Fish, and I'm based in Bend, Oregon. So best thing to do is to DM me on my Instagram, and if you're local, we can set up an in-person consultation. If you're not local, then we can do it over chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Ricardo.
What's up, man? My name is Ricardo Sortavant. You can find me at Candor Tattoo on Instagram. Yeah, just hit me up there. Give me a friend request, send me a message, whatever you want to do. Jason and I will be in Philadelphia this weekend. No, Gettysburg. I'm sorry. I'll be in Gettysburg this weekend at the tattoo convention. If you want to stop by, say what's up. I'll have plenty of stuff for us to look over and probably be doing some drawing or tattooing there. So hit me up.
Awesome. Well, and now for me, before we close out. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Jason Leeser. I host the Sunday afternoon drawing groups here at Reinventing the Tattoo. Feel free to join us on the Reinventing the Tattoo community, where we've got all types of stuff going on, all different times. There's always something new going on. Thank you very much for tuning in today. For those of you that have joined via Facebook or YouTube, make sure that you are following us for the latest updates and the latest live streams. If you're joining us on the YouTubes, feel free to leave a comment in the comments area. Let us know what kind of stuff you want to see on these shows. We're always welcoming new input and new ideas as far as what you would like us to cover, any ideas, any concepts, even ethical situations in tattooing that maybe you would like to have discussed. Obviously, we'd keep things a bit more private. If anyone has any other ideas or topics, or would like a critique, or wants to reach out and say hi, or maybe if you want to get tattooed, feel free to send me a message on Instagram at Philly Inc. And I will be more than happy to answer any questions, comments, or concerns you might have. Without further ado, now is the point in time where we all raise our glasses and make a goofy face if you want to make a goofy face. And essentially, we go through, and I'm going to click end in just a second. There's Eddie. Hey, cool.
Hi.
So make a funny face.